be honest with you, I never grew up around dogs, so I'm a bit... Every experience I've had with a dog, I've been chased.
Is this Rolling?
No, he's a...
It is
a baby.
Towers on the track.
Do you not like the camera?
Oh, the 18-bedder, yeah. So everything in the 18-bedder it's got a different kind of style to it because you really have to kind of cater for your target market. So our target market is a 20-year-old who's got a bit of style to them. So, you know, like you.
But I'm not 20, I'm 24.
Yeah.
24.
So, yeah, so it's about your age range. So it's kind of black walls. Nothing really matching, but everything's kind of from the same family. Not too stylised, but really amazing products.
Okay, so Ruth, thank you so much for having me in your lovely house.
Pleasure.
So for those of you that don't know, we're here today with Ruth Hobbs, who is a successful property developer from London, but you're based in the Midlands area.
Yeah, I've been here for about 3 years now from London.
3 years, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So
you was born in London, you moved to the Midlands?
I've lived practically my whole life in London.
Yeah.
I moved and married my husband here, so I've been here for about 3 years now.
Okay.
You can just hear him come in actually.
Yeah.
So quite a big change of life, you know, coming all the way up from London really.
Yeah.
But I just love it in the Midlands.
So Ruth, can you kind of tell us a bit about yourself, like what you've been up to?
So I've been investing in London since 2000, actually just a little bit before 2000. I got some inheritance, just a small amount. It was 60,000 at the time. And property is something that I've always wanted to do. So I just started buying property in London, flipping some, being a landlady, making it up as I'm going along. No strategy. There weren't any strategies in 2000. We just kind of, there were 100% mortgages, you know, there were self-certification mortgages, you know, it was a completely different landscape in those days. So for the last 20 years, I've been investing in London. I got married 3 years ago, so I came up to the Midlands to be with my husband.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I'm here. And realised that the stuff I was doing in London, I couldn't do up here. I was doing flips from 1 beds to 2 beds, studios to 1 bed, houses, just renovating them. And you can make a good profit in London, but you can't do that here. So I had to I spent a year just looking around and just deciding on, you know, what strategies I should adopt, you know, to what would work here. So I spent a year just investigating and then kind of decided what I was going to do from there.
Wow. Okay, so you went from London, you know, doing your thing out in London, buying a few properties out in London. Do you still have those at the moment?
I do, yeah. I've been selling one a year. Because I don't like to have a lot of properties. I like to have few, but they're high value ones. So they all tend to be over $1 million in London. Because I don't like loads of boilers. I don't like loads of tenants. And I think as you get older in the game, some people want hundreds and hundreds of tenants, but it's just not for me. I'd rather have higher value properties and less of them.
So I think that's kind of a key point, just for, you know, the people that may be watching that may think, I want to get 500 houses, but my
question would be to you, why do you want 500 houses? Because that's 500 boilers.
And headaches.
Oh my God, that's like 2,000 tenants. Do you really want all that problem? You've got to love it, you know, to do that.
Okay, so kind of focus on more high cash flowing properties. With better capital appreciation. So for example, one of my houses has gone up £1 million in London since I've owned it. And that is just capital appreciation. That's not anything. I've done a few tweaks to the property, putting in new bathrooms and stuff, but that's not. So it's just kind of gone up on its own. Wow, that's incredible. So Ruth, how long have you been investing in property?
So it's since 1999, so it's 20 years now I've been investing in property. And I just started off in London doing studio flat to 1 bedrooms, 1 bedrooms to 2 bedrooms, putting the the kitchen in the front room, and then you'd have 2 rooms. And in London, you make quite a lot of money doing that. I try and always do up the property to the target market. I've concentrated on the London side of Croydon and in southwest London. I buy Victorian properties. You know, I like to buy properties that I love, which is one of the things you're not meant to do. But for me, I say do it because you'll always get rid of them if you love them. If you're buying vanilla stuff, it's the last stuff to shift, you know. So
okay, so that is 20 years of property investing.
Yes.
So wow, so you've experienced the crash.
What crash?
2007.
What crash?
You didn't notice?
No. There was no crash in London, I would say.
Okay.
Not for an investor.
Yeah.
For me, when that crash happened, I was like, woohoo!
Yeah.
Because my house that I was living in, I went from, mine was tracking the base rate at minus 0.5%. So my mortgage went down to 0. In fact, I phoned the bank up to say, do you owe me money? Because I'm now at a negative interest rate.
Wow.
And they were like, no, it doesn't work like that. You know, I mean, literally, so I didn't have to pay a mortgage because I had no interest to pay. And that was on like 4 of my really high value properties. So I was, for rents coming in, I was absolutely swimming in cash.
True. Wow.
So the crash for me wasn't a crash.
Yeah, so it was kind of positive in a way.
Absolutely. And property only went down 15% in London, but has doubled since then.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it's crazy. It was just a tiny little dip in London. I know it's serious for other investors outside of London. Yeah. But at the time, I was so London-centric that it was happy days for me.
Take things right back to the very start. So I know you mentioned, you got some inheritance, £60,000.
Yeah.
So what was your kind of first move? Because obviously it is always hard to get onto that ladder. So what was your kind of first move in terms of property investing?
It was just a 1-bed flat. Yeah. I couldn't afford Brixton, so I bought outside of Brixton in a place called Southwest in South Norwood. And so I thought, okay, right, I'm going to see how I get on with this first flat. I'm going to do all the work myself. I'm going to paint the kitchen. I'm going to style it up. And then I'm going to put it back on the market and see what happens. And I made 90 grand in I think it was 9 months. Yeah. I was working at the time, so I worked in agencies and working on ads for most major kind of retailers. So, I was like, wow, I can make more money at this than I can do working my job. But actually, I love doing a bit of painting. And is it really this easy, But actually, when your property value is going up, everyone else's is going up. So I thought, okay, I need to buy more than one. I need to buy multiple. And, it's much harder in London to do that because the values were so high. Yeah. And when you've got everyone else around you saying, oh no, the values have gone up, they can't possibly go up anymore. It's the same thing I hear today. Your property won't go up in value. Yes, it will go up. It will go up dramatically in value. There's still so much growth in London. For me, it's an underperforming market at the moment, and I will definitely go back and buy some more stuff down there. Okay.
So on your first deal, obviously you made 90 grand. That must have been kind of life-changing money, I guess, or was it? Yeah. Because
you suddenly I was able to split that money, buy another house. Yeah. And then buy a buy-to-let at the same time. Wow. So your money starts to split. Values are still going up. But I didn't really have any strategy. I mean, the great thing now is you can all listen to podcasts, you hear everyone. I was literally alone in my own little world, doing my own little thing, thinking I was the only person doing the property thing. Yeah. So I was just making it up as I went along, basically. Okay. I still feel a bit like that now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
wicked. So you've always kind of done your own thing, kind of gone your own way.
Yeah.
But that's amazing. So after your first deal, you say you bought a buy-to-let and another property as well. Yeah. And you just kind of kept going from there. Yeah.
And I bought the very lowest value properties until I had several of those. Yes. And then I decided, all these tenants are doing my head in. Yeah. The boilers kept breaking. I'm being called left, right and centre out for small little jobs that I can't fix. It was just a headache.
Yeah.
No one wants to come out in London to change, something like a light fitting that's broken. So I then decided that my new strategy would be to sell them and then buy more higher value properties, move to houses rather than flats.
When you're building wealth in property, would you say it's kind of a long-term thing? Or?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because property values go up, you're only going to buy your next project. It's going to be more expensive than what it was the year before. See what I mean? So even though you're making 100 grand on a property, and maybe 50 grand of that is due to the market shifting and 50 grand is due to your hard work, you're going to take that and go and buy another property. But that property's going to be more expensive because the market's all moved on anyway. Do you see what I mean?
Because it's changed from the year before, do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's already gone up in value.
Yeah.
So, it's a long-term generator,
Okay, great. I just wanted to kind of make a point about that because obviously it is, some people may be looking at property investing as kind of a get-rich-quick scheme.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's definitely not. Because, when I talk about my property went up 90 grand in that first 9 months, so did everything else.
Yes.
So actually, have I actually made that money? No, only if I come out of the market completely and not have a property.
Yeah.
So it's almost invisible money.
Yeah.
It's not really there. Do you see what I mean?
So you'd only obviously receive the money if you was to sell that property.
Exactly.
Talk us through kind of your transition. So you was in London, you was doing these different projects in London.
Yeah.
So you transitioned from doing flats to houses.
Yeah.
And then you obviously moved to the Midlands.
Yeah.
Throughout your whole career, Ruth, what would you say your favourite project has been?
I think it has to be the last house I did in London would be my favourite project so far, just because it just got me a little bit I feel a bit emotional actually about it. Because I think I kind of designed it for me, basically. It was my last house in London that I owned. I was under offer for 3 years on it. I bought it for 615,000, sold it at 1.27 million. And it was a completely unloved wreck and no one wanted it. And I just saw it and I had an emotional connection to it because no one could understand why I wanted to buy this house. And it was the 1980s building on a kind of a massive plot. And I could have stuck 3 houses in there if I wanted to. I could have made loads and loads of money, but I decided not to because it was such a beautiful house. It could be such a beautiful house.
Yeah, wow.
I think sometimes when you're making decisions on houses, it's very easy to look at the numbers and say, I want to make the most profit. But actually, for me, I just thought, for this house, I'm going to make enough money on it if I just have it as a beautiful house.
Yes.
And I tell you, the house is the kind of house that I would love to live in, that I left in London, you know. So I made a good profit on it.
Wow. So you bought that one for 615.
Yeah.
So you bought it for 615.
Yeah.
How much did you spend on that project, that property?
250,000.
250.
Yeah.
So that brings it to like 865. And then to get it valued at 1.27 million.
That's what I sold it for.
Wow. So that is a massive profit. Well, I can see, See, for me, I'm more like a numbers person. So when I'm looking at the different deals, it's kind of like, that's kind of the first one. I could have put 3 houses on there.
In fact, I could have just got planning consent for 3 houses and jogged that plot on. But I think sometimes you make, you make decisions. You've got to make right decisions about houses, and actually, for me, that was the right decision, even though it wasn't the most profitable.
Did you just renovate it? Then you just kept...
No, I did a massive. I did a 2-story side extension wraparound around the whole house. Took the insides out. And designed it specifically for an older family with older children. So I know what my target market is. I know the kind of people that are going to live there, and it was just really nice picking high spec stuff out, and testing that market out for myself, because you only need so much money. I mean, our objectives are probably completely different. My objective is to live in a £2.5 million house with a massive garden and have a few properties in London and have another home in London.
That does sound good to me.
So, but my goal isn't to have 100 houses and working...
And like a massive empire.
No, that's not for me, but it is for some people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or having loads of strategies running. I want an easy life. I want to walk my dog. I want to have time for myself. I want to do my little hobbies.
Yeah.
And it's so... I just want a really simple kind of existence. I don't need for a lot, you know.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my choice on that house.
Yeah.
And I think you get to a certain point in your career and you can go down different paths, you know, and it's what path you want to choose, you know.
Because there must have been a point where, you know, you kind of sat down and said to yourself, right, where am I going next? You know, I've done these projects in London, you know, I've moved to the Midlands. Do I want to keep going? Have you ever thought about stopping and just just living off your rent and just relaxing, or doing other things?
But I'm a workaholic, so
yeah.
You know, but actually I live off people's reactions. So the woman who came to buy the house, she was the first to step in, and she walked to the, oh my god, I feel emotional again. She walked into the hallway and she just said, it's a no-brainer, I want this house. And I was just like, oh my god, that's amazing, you know. It's like it's that kind of reaction.
The feeling you would have got from that must have been amazing, to see the vision of this rundown massive, you know,
and
building.
That's why I do it. And a bit of cash, but it's you know, it's, and they're still in contact with me.
Are they still living in the house?
They're still living in the house, and they send me photos and updates on the house.
That's definitely a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And that was your vision, and you made it reality. So.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's kind of one of the big motivations for you, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, you know, and everyone has their own objectives, you know. And developers, we have such bad names, you know. When people find out I'm a developer, they're like, oh. But actually, you know, I want to leave houses, nice houses in my path. You know, I want people to live in them well and have a great life. You know.
I think I'm kind of with you on that, Ruth. 100%. I mean, when I'm looking to do up properties as well, I'm just trying to think, let me provide the best experience for that tenant.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm trying to go for the high level HMOs, which you also do as well.
Yeah.
I know you've just completed on an amazing project.
Yeah.
I've been kind of following the progress of the project on Instagram.
Yeah.
And kind of following the journey, really.
Yeah.
So it's, if I'm right in saying it's an 18-bed HMO.
Yeah.
But it's soon to be a 22-person HMO.
Yeah. So originally it was a B1 office block.
Yeah.
There's no Article 4 in Derby, which means that, if anyone doesn't know what an Article 4 is, it means that you can convert a B1 office block straight to residential without planning consent. Okay. So it was really easy to take this unused, unloved, hideous building, but there was something quite charming about it as well, and it just fit nicely into 3 flats, all of 6 bedrooms, into stage 1, which we've just finished now. So we've designed quite a unique building and a unique HMO for students, really targeted at them, with beautiful fixtures and finishings, you know, really good quality. It's got 500 megs of broadband, and it's got the latest Wi-Fi in there, so everyone can stream and download. There's going to be no issues there.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of the building that it's become, and students were moving in this morning actually, which was great. It's a great feeling.
Yeah.
And then next year we've got stage 2, which we've got 4 more people to move up into the attic, which is the penthouse. So it's going to be specced up a little bit more in the attic area, but we've already got interest for that.
So, you know, when you're talking about obviously stage 1, stage 2,
yeah,
can you talk a bit more about that? So what exactly is that, and why is it not a 22-person HMO now?
Yeah, so we didn't have the time. So basically, with the student market, you have to hit the 1st of September. If you're not hitting it, then it's a business risk.
Yes.
So we took the decision that, given the length of time that we had, we'd put that into stage 2. So we fit out stage 2 now.
Yeah.
And then next summer, when we've got 4 weeks, that will all be fitted out.
Yeah. So it's not like a planning restriction or anything like that.
No, it's nothing like that.
Purely.
Yeah. We just didn't have the time.
Before we get into the numbers, it's got some really impressive numbers. But before we get into that, I just want to kind of take it right back to the start. So, firstly, who found the building? Where did you find the building?
Yeah.
What happened
So it's we pick a few roads that we only buy and we don't buy outside those roads because I don't know that area. So I have my roads that I buy on. It was a property for rent, so the office block was for rent and they couldn't rent it. So I'd phoned them up and said, do they want to sell? And they just happened to be putting it on the market that day.
Wow.
I said, I have cash, I'll buy it.
Wow.
Full asking price.
Yeah. And how much was the asking price?
400,000.
400,000?
Yes.
Okay.
So it cost us 415 to purchase with all the professional fees and blah, 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 you know, the stamp duty, etc.
Yeah.
So 415 to purchase, and then we just had our revaluation. Am I jumping?
No.
Talk about that.
I was just literally about to say.
So top line,
Yeah.
So if we talk about a purchase of 415, development costs of 460, we just had a revaluation at 1.26 million.
Whoa.
So I think what it shows is that, you know, it's got such good quality fixtures and fittings in there. You know, it's an office block, so the valuers come in and they don't do it on bricks and mortar. You're doing it on a rent multiplier. So the rent multiplier was higher because of the fixtures and fittings and because of the look of the place.
Yeah.
So we I always like to give the valuer a pack of pictures before, after, development costs, everything in that pack that he needs to know to make his decision on what that multiplier is going to be.
Wow.
So, you know, he was immediately impressed with the building, you know. So
it was definitely worth it. I mean, because for him to value it, and did you say he valued it above the norm? So as you're saying, because you've gone that extra level.
Yeah, we thought it was a 10% multiplier, but he's valued it a little bit higher. I don't know exactly what he valued
maybe
it.
Like 12-13% or something
maybe
like that.
yeah. So but I mean, what's really exciting is that doesn't include the top level. So next year when they put the top level in, we're looking more at towards a 1.5 million valuation. I don't know exactly yet, but we've only got like 40 grand to spend on it left, because we've done all the structural work inside. That's all finished. So, you know, it's really I mean, the equity that we've built up is massive, and we didn't do this for the equity gain. We didn't think that was going to be such a high valuation, which is brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah,
you
well,
know?
Congratulations. Just to let you guys know as well, you can see all of the pictures and videos from that project on Ruth and your sister's Gillian's Instagram page. The link will be in the description, so you can check out all of the different photos and videos. Yeah,
and come and DM me. You can come and ask me any questions. I'm more than happy to respond to anything.
Yes.
Sometimes, I mean, this is going to be cash flowing at around £10,500 a month to start with. Sometimes one deal is all you need to make you kind of not have to work anymore. You know, sometimes you don't need, it's what we go back to, we don't need 100 buildings. Sometimes we only need one building to make us so that we don't have to work in a job anymore.
We was just talking about that off camera, wasn't we? That it's not necessarily about the number of houses you have, but what income are they producing? So in terms of this 18-bed HMO project, soon to be 22-person. So how many bedrooms will it be once you've added?
So we're going to put 2 more doubles in the attic. 2 more doubles,
so it will be a 20-bed HMO. And
for me, the finish is really, really important. You know, so it's down to the detail, and there's a lot more on the Instagram page. You know, if you, it's do the biggest doors you possibly can do. When you go and look around a hotel, you have big doors in a hotel, so we've gone for the biggest spec door we can go for. In the penthouse, we're doing floor to ceiling doors, so we don't have that bit above. It gives that feeling of height and of luxury. There's many other points that you can take for your HMO that don't cost a lot of money, you know, that you can apply so that you can get that higher valuation through.
Yes. And how did you find dealing with obviously the planning department? the council?
Well, we don't deal with any of that because we have experts for everything. So we have a planning consultant who deals with the council.
Oh, okay.
So we don't get involved with. The best bit of advice I could give anyone is almost be like the conductor, step back and let everyone else do anything.
Yeah.
Don't be picking up tools on site.
Yeah.
You know, give that all to the experts to do. You're not the expert.
Yeah.
You know, planning consultant, I would always have a QS, have a quantity surveyor. I would always tender the building work out through my QS. I wouldn't do it myself. You know, I don't get involved in any of that anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of let them go out there, check out the building, see if it's you know the right fit for what you're trying to do. See if it's worth purchasing. So you'll leave that kind of decision to them after you found.
Well, after I find I'm quick when I do my decision making.
Yeah.
So when I find a building that I like, I don't dither. A lot of developers dither. I put my offer in straight away.
Yeah.
And I don't tend to muck too much around on the price either.
Okay. So you don't try and do like low ball offers and that type of thing?
No. Because for me, you know, I don't do the numbers, my sister does the numbers, but I could tell from this building, why are they only selling it for 400? I just couldn't compute, because I can make 18 beds out of it, and if I can get 18 beds, I can make X amount of money. Yeah. So I can tell in 5 minutes what that building's worth to me. It's worth much more than 400,000.
Yeah.
In fact, I even looked at selling that with planning consent for 550 because I thought, I could flip it over. But actually, the numbers told me no, I had to keep it because it was going to cash flow so high.
Yeah, £10,500 income per month is crazy off one building. And once it's 20 bedrooms as well,
we're looking at 1.5. For sale.
So we're looking at 500,000 to 600,000 profit, which is incredible. In Derby as well, that's really good. So is that kind of your first large HMO project that you've done?
That is my first large HMO.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is it something you'd want to do again, the HMO project? Has it been like stressful or?
Do you know what? It's been the easiest project I've ever done out of everything because we've had a full team on board. So the build was expensive, but we had amazing builders. I've got a brilliant QS. Everything, all the jobs are paid for. So, we just don't get involved with the build at all. So we were just checking progress, and they were done in 15 weeks. So
really hands off,
totally
just oversee the project.
You've got to be hands off. When you're doing these projects, you can't be meddling. The builders don't want you there. In fact, you're not allowed on site without consent. Yeah. So you have to book those.
Wow.
I was just Instagramming, every Friday. Can I come on site? Can I come on Instagram? Basically, I use my QS. Yeah. She prepares the tender, which is all my fixtures and fittings, architect's reports, all the M&E, which is the mechanical and all the electrical stuff has already been calculated.
Yeah.
So all of those packs go out to the builders. So we had 4 on our list, and then they come back with quotes.
Oh, okay.
So and that goes back to the QS. So the QS then comes back to us and says, this is her recommendation. Yeah. And then we take it or not. And we got people we can then juggle quotes by saying, well, you need to come down on that price, or, that's not good enough, that kind of thing. But that's not my job. That's my QS's job. Okay. So we pay her separately for that. Yeah.
Now, I'm presuming the level of trust that you must have with the QS is massive.
Yes.
Have you worked with her before or him?
No. No.
So it was kind of the first time working with them.
Gut feeling.
So you followed your instinct on them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you kind of meet several different surveyors?
We met 3 at the time, but we decided on this specific lady because she had the same kind of values, and she was kind of, I don't know, we just felt immediately comfortable with her, and it's turned out to be correct. She really knows her stuff.
So this is a student property.
Yeah.
So you've kind of gone for that whole urban theme. It looks really cool. We'll get some pictures on here as well. But that neon light thing, I kind of asked you on Instagram, like, can you send me the link where I can get one of these, because it looks so cool. I'm going to try and squeeze it into my budget.
Because you're my target market, aren't they cool? I mean, I don't want one in my house, but
they are. I would want one. Well, in this project I'm doing now, this HMO project, I'm going to try and squeeze it into the budget if we can.
Yeah.
Because, for the surveys when they come back out.
Yeah.
I'm presuming things like that really help to boost that value.
Because it just shows kind of what a premium product you're doing, and it's great on all your materials. You know, we've had video footage. It all starts with that neon sign. We're going to do brochures, you know, but also it helps for development finance as well. So go back to development. It's, you know, you've got that whole piece and it looks beautiful and you stand out.
Yeah. So just spending that extra £1,400.
Yeah, I mean, they're a lot less if you get them smaller, you know.
Yeah. I'll probably do that. I know you posted something on your story that lots of people are kind of messaging you about. So it was this whole thing of MMD. Yeah. And your thing is AMD.
AMD, yeah.
So everyone talks about no money down. You go to a property course, they'll be like, no money down, no money down.
This is how you do it.
Yeah, 1997, sign up to our course, no money down, and you'll be able to get deals with no money.
Yeah.
But the reality is...
It's AMD.
It's AMD.
Isn't it? Come on.
It is, yeah. I'm AMD right now.
I'm AMD.
We're both AMD. So AMD is kind of the new thing.
It's all money down.
Yeah.
It's not really new though, because we've always been doing it, haven't we?
It's not new, it's just the real one.
I was just saying on my story, I've got about £1 million coming to me in 3 months' time. I've got £1,000 in my bank account. I mean, that is just the reality of it. And it's stark, and it's all a bit desperate. But do you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
But when I was talking about it on Instagram, just finding out, am I the only one doing this? But it turns out everyone's doing it. Yeah.
Love that concept that you came up with. So.
It's actually my sister's concept.
Okay, so she needs to trademark it. You both need to trademark that. And then maybe the new
We've got a new course coming out for 199.
1997.
Yeah.
It's got to be a 7, so don't forget the 7.
It's just like, it's just what everyone's doing though. So why not, let's
talk about it.
Let's talk about the realness of it, you know.
I like to talk about the things what no one really talks about.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm interviewing anybody, I'm trying to get that information
to the heart
out
of it,
there. Because there's lots of people, trainers, making things out to be really easy.
Yeah, and they're not.
The reality is kind of not shown as much.
Yeah, you can't take a newbie and expect them to have no money down on a project because, do you know, why would I want to give my money to somebody who's a newbie, who's got no experience of doing a big deal?
Yeah.
You know, for them to finish it. How is that going to work? As an investor, I want to know that I'm going to get my money back at the end.
Yeah.
So I want you to have skin in the game.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. But I mean, starting out, it is hard. You know, your first few deals, it is going to be hard, especially when you're trying to raise funds.
You did it.
I did it. So I started with £6,000, and I borrowed £6,000. Did my first deal, but I got it below market value. Refinanced it. So it's possible. It is hard at the start, but it does get easier and easier.
Yeah, but if you're not sitting with beans on toast for the first year, you know, that's just a reality of it. Yeah. You know, and I might be on beans and toast for the next month. Let's see.
I don't like beans, but pot noodle.
You know what I mean?
So my next question for you, Ruth, is kind of for a new person just starting out in property investing. What's your kind of top tips for people that are just starting out?
Only do it if you love it. If you don't love property, don't do it. Go and do something else. We're in it for the long term here. You know, there's so many things that go wrong and there's massive highs and lows, and you have to love what you do. And if you don't love what you do, you're not going to excel at it. You're not going to provide an amazing product, you know, like we do. Yeah, we love it.
Yeah, I do love it, to be fair. But my first one, I kind of felt excited by the idea of, right, I'm going to buy a 4-bed house and I'm going to live in a room and rent out the rooms. Yeah. I just got excited by the money side of it. Yeah. But then my second project, I got more excited about, right, now let me turn this shithole into a nice, beautiful house. Yeah. So I kind of learned to love it. Yeah.
Second point I would say to people is listen. Stop talking and just listen, because you know there's a lot. If you walk into a room right now and you go and talk to a bunch of property people, various stages of their career, everyone's talking about themselves. You know, there's a lot to be learned from anyone, newbies to oldies. if you just shut up and just let them talk,
Yeah.
you're not gaining anything by telling them what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're not learning anything from that. You only learn from hearing about what people are doing.
Yeah.
So that'll be my second top point for people.
There's podcasts, there's YouTube.
Exactly.
There's books.
Yeah.
I always recommend.
Forget music. Forget listening to music when you're walking the dog, you're out on a train, you're at work. Get that podcast, get those podcasts going, you know, and, you know, just keep on listening and, you know, reading. You know, if you really want to do this and you want to make some money or you want to have specific goals out of this, then that you should be definitely doing that.
Yeah. And there's lots of free events out there as well.
So many free events. There's a 3-day progressive, which I think is a fantastic course to do. Yeah. There's so many free stuff. Just take the option of all the free stuff that's out there. Yeah. And once you know that, then go and get a mentor.
Myself and Romero, we do a free event as well. Yeah. But we've purposely made it so it is free. Yeah. So we've paid, you know, out of our own pockets to run these events. But they are completely free. Yeah. And there's no like sale at the end. So upsell at the end. There's nothing like that. Just to kind of give back to people. But there is other people out there doing that as well. Yeah. And you will find that a lot of the developers are really helpful on social media as well. For example, Ruth, she's really, since the start of my career, she's always responded to me and different people as well. Obviously, people are busy. Yeah. But
there's a really strong Instagram community for property though, because there's very little competition for these houses we're going for. There's so much, there's so many deals to be done all over the place. I mean, it's incredible. And we're kind of all in the same boat. Yeah. That on Instagram, we find a lot of help, don't we? You know, newbies, old bees, whatever, we all kind of muck in and help each other, you know. And I was just saying earlier, wasn't I, that I actually learn most of my stuff now from newbies rather than old bees, because the new people coming into the property game are, you know, they just got that enthusiasm and like optimism and they can do anything and, you know, and I'm just amazed by people like yourself who are just coming into it and just storming around, just, you know, buying property from nothing, from your 3,000 you started off with.
6,000.
6,000. You know, that's incredible. Yeah. You know, there's many other kind of people who've been doing it for a year who are absolutely killing it. So yeah, I'm learning a lot from them, you know, in terms of style and design and all of those things as well. I find it all on Instagram myself.
Yeah. Have you got any recommendations for like different podcasts or books or anything like that?
I think you've just got to go onto the property, you've got to go onto the podcast and listen to anything that's related to property. In fact, things that aren't related to property, you know, interior design. I mean, there's so much to listen to, from Property Investing Network to Mark Homer. You know, there's just so many people that you need to, whether you like them or not, it's irrelevant. You just need to go and listen to them because they are disrupting the industry and they are, you know, really... in terms of education, there, you know, it's fantastic. I learn every day, you know, I'm learning so much stuff from all these people. It's incredible.
But you might get to that stage, I don't know if you've experienced it, where people will come to you with deals and say, right, what do you think about this roof? Yeah. Do you like this? Do you want it? You might like this deal.
I get afraid about those deals.
Do you?
Yeah. I like to find my own deals. And you know what? It's a skill. I think it's it's my favourite thing to do is find the deal. Yeah. There's something about, it feels like poker, you know, you're winning, you know. That's the point that you make your money, is when you find your deal, basically. That's how I see it. Yeah.
What would you say to people that are, you know, they're looking at deals, trying to get good at finding deals? Yeah. What would you say to them? Just keep going, just go on a load of viewings, or keep looking and looking and looking?
Yeah, I mean, viewings are going to help you the more viewings you go to. Yeah. I like to walk roads. I drive around and go on Google Earth, and I pick my buildings, and then I ask people if I can buy their properties. So that for me is, because I'm not one of these people, I don't like to have 100 in my portfolio. I like to have a few, but high value. Yeah. I like to pick off my properties that I want to own, and I'd rather do it that way.
Yes.
See what I mean? So actually, it's probably a lot easier for me because I'm only maybe looking at 2 buildings a year to buy.
Yeah.
Then it's so that works for me. But I cruise around in my car or I go walking, and I make it my business to know all the owners of all the properties.
Yeah.
And so I found even stuff in my pipeline for future, maybe 5 years' time. I'm sorted for year 5.
Oh wow!
Because I've got that deal already.
Yeah.
That is long term, but you know,
wicked,
you can work back from that, because once you know people and you're out drinking with owners of buildings, they're going to sell to you. You know, so that's where I'm making long-term relationships with owners, basically, of high-value buildings.
Yeah. So I was just going to say, for new people, you know, don't rush into these deals. Be very picky.
Yeah, totally.
So, you know, be super picky about your deals, because you may end up rushing into a crappy deal, a rubbish deal.
Yeah, and I think that's where a mentor could really help out. I think this mentorship can help out for various things, and I think that's a really good one, you know, helping you stack your deal up.
Oh yeah,
because there's a real skill to that.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
just to get someone to kind of check over the deal, look at the numbers. I'd recommend that as well. So if you do, you know, have any deals you want me to look over, or you know, we'll cut that bit out. I don't want to learn the rest of the deals. Just another point as well. For example, lots of new people, they want to do rent to rent. Yeah. What do you think about rent to rent? What's your
hard work? Yes. I would say, and a lot of risk.
Yes.
So, I don't know. You need to speak to a rent to rent expert, because I'm not one. I just think it's a lot of work.
Yeah. Okay.
I would say, yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, lots of trainers make it sound very easy.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. I think.
It's like NMD.
Yeah. But I think as well, like, it depends where you are, because for example in Nottingham, to do rent to rent HMO style is very difficult because of the Article 4. Because if there's a HMO landlord, he kind of knows that he's got a bit of a gold mine with his HMO. So it is harder in Nottingham, but say if he was in like Coventry or Derby, it may be easier. Exactly. So your strategy may depend what you want to do on where you're based, like you say.
For me, HMOs are the only thing that work at the moment in my area. Oh, and another piece of nugget information is try and aim for 2 streams of cash. One for rental income on a monthly basis, and one to flip, so you're getting lumps of cash in. So at all times, you've got 2 streams going on, and that's what I do. So I've got my rental income and I'm flipping. So I've got chunks of cash, and I've got my income.
So you've constantly got like a flip deal going through.
I've got a flip on at the moment.
So you've got a flip deal on at the moment.
Yeah.
And you've also just completed on the HMO, which you're keeping.
Yeah.
So you've always kind of got those 2 going on. So that's new. I've never heard of anyone doing that. So that's
2 streams.
Yeah.
And you never kind of quite know when your flip money's going to come in.
Yeah.
So we're doing a flip on a piece of land. So we bought a plot of land.
Yeah.
We're getting planning for 5 houses on the back, but we're not going to do anything with it. We're literally going to just cut the piece of land off at the back, keep the house, and then sell off the land for like 450, basically, but not actually lift a spade on that land. It's
been really good, to kind of pick your brain. I've learned so much today, so thank you. And go follow Ruth, and all the top people. I'm trying to bring everyone together, go and interview all the top people, all the top developers. So stay tuned, and hopefully we can come and check out that project, the planning gain one.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
So Ruth, thank you so much.
Lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
See you later, guys.